Hello and welcome to today's Partner Infopedia web conference. This is Fast Track Dynamics 365 for Operations Tech Talk. Today's topic, AX2012 to Dynamics 365 for Operations Upgrade. Presenting for us today from Microsoft, we have Senior R&D Solution Architect, Kirill Val. So without any further delay, Kirill, over to you.
Thank you, Janice. Good evening or good morning, guys. So let's talk about upgrade. How to upgrade from AX2012 R3 to the newest version, Dynamics 365 for Operations. At the moment, we have full components, full upgrade path supported to allow you to upgrade from AX2012 R3 version. At the moment, some components are in preview. For instance, data upgrade. It's not available yet for public. However, if you are interested in registering and trying out a data upgrade from AX2012 R3 to 365 for Operations, please register at the link we are providing. Some other components are already available publicly, for instance, code upgrade, and as well as upgrade from the earlier versions of AX2012 are going to follow in a bit later. During this session, we're going to discuss end-to-end paths and our recommendations. What is the best way for you to upgrade from AX2012 R3? What are the tools we are providing as Microsoft? What are the best practices and recommendations? And we will answer your questions regarding such upgrade. Please note that during this session, we are not going to touch 2009 data migration. We have a separate session for this path, as well as upgrade from previous version of AX2012 RTM. Those things are out of scope for this presentation. So, of course, everything that's in this presentation, it's subject to change. Some of the components are still in preview, so they might change as we get closer to the official release. So what we're going to discuss during this session is end-to-end flow. We're going to talk about different tools we provide, for instance, upgrade analysis, how to use code upgrade, what's happening underneath the hood when you run code upgrade and how to execute it. We're going to discuss brand new feature of data upgrade and how you can write data upgrade scripts and provide upgrade validation and how to actually validate your upgrade after you finished your data upgrade activities. It's an overview session, so we're not going to go very deep inside each of those topics, but we're going to provide some references to our deep dive sessions in case if you're interested in learning more later on. So let's talk about end-to-end upgrade. You have your 2012 instance, you have your 2012 code and data. What to do in order to reliably and successfully upgrade your code and data to the next version? Well, first of all, right now we support everything for R3. It's still in preview. We have tools now to upgrade your database as well. As you know, during the last year, we also had tools to provide you with a code upgrade. So those tools still work. But the data upgrade tools are brand new and they're still in preview. In general, how does the process look like? It's not just you're going to run the code upgrade and data upgrade. We worked with quite a few customers, and we found out that the success of your upgrade story depends not on just running the tools, but it's a project. You have to consider that if you just take your existing 2012 database and try to upgrade it, it's going to be not a good idea. Existing databases usually are too big, and for the most customers, your downtime window is just a weekend or even less than a weekend. So in order to successfully upgrade your current data and ensure that you have reliable way to upgrade, you cannot just do like in Microsoft Office, click next, 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 next. First, you need to analyze your current situation. You need to run, first of all, AX2012 upgrade analysis tool. It's a new tool that's available as a hotfix for you to install on your 2012 environment. and analyze your current situation and see if there is a way how you can shrink your current database, how you purge some data, as well as if your current data within your 2012 database is actually good to be upgraded. Is it consistent? Do we have all the elements ID and similar things in the right place in order to start your actual upgrade process? So that's the first thing you have to do. You have to look into your current database, into your current code, as well as see if it's ready to be upgraded and do necessary adjustments, purging and data corrections in order to prepare your database for the upgrade. As part of the analysis phase, of course, the first question your customers are gonna ask you is how long would it take? What it takes to upgrade my current code base to the next version? Is it gonna be expensive? Is it gonna be cheap? How much resources we might need to allocate for such project? So to help you to answer this question, of course, we cannot answer it with 100% correctness. However, we provide as well code upgrade estimation that you can use in order to analyze your current 2012 code base and see how big the effort is going to be to upgrade it to the next version. That tool is also available. And as part of analysis phase, of course, you may want to create a project plan in general for your upgrade project. As I mentioned, it's not an easy task, so you have to include here all the components, multiple iterations of the data upgrade, multiple iterations of the code upgrade, refactoring of your code from the old version to the new concepts of Dynamics 365, like extensions, form patterns, and similar ones, and create end-to-end project plan that will include the cutover planning, as well as of multiple iterations of your data upgrade to ensure that you have time to test and validate and perfect your upgraded code and data. After you have project plan and it's approved by the customer, then it comes execution phase. That's when you actually perform code upgrade. You adjust your current existing code and rewrite some of the code to, for example, move to extensions and similar D365 concepts. Run AX2012 preparation tasks to prepare for the upgrade and run actual data upgrade as part of your project. After that's done, you move to validation phase. That's also a very common question from customers. After we upgraded, how we can be sure that upgraded data actually is correct? Are we missing something? Is everything is okay, or we are good to go? So we have, of course, most of the things is going to include just the testing of your resulting database and instance, functional testing, cutover testing, smoke testing, etc. But here we have also quite a few tools that can validate you, that can guide you through the validation process as well. So that's a general, that is overview of upgrade process. It starts with, right now upgrade is driven via LCS, so you will use most of the things within your LCS project. You download a special hotfix for your 2012 and do the analysis within your existing 2012 environment, do necessary corrections, and then perform execution of the process by uploading your code inside LCS, running code analysis tool and code upgrade tool, and resulting code base using for your next stages, which is data upgrade, performing data upgrade, do all necessary testings and validations, as well, and at the end finish the project. So this is a sample overview of end-to-end process for the upgrade. So let's look deeper into some of the components of the process. Let's start with the analysis. So that's initially, as I mentioned, you have to analyze your existing 2012 environment. So you will start. That's an initial phase when you need to know, when you need to tell the customer how long would it take to actually do the upgrade and estimate the effort. First thing you may want to do is to upload your existing code base into LCS code upgrade tile. Now guys, if you've seen this, but it's there is a special tile called LCS code upgrade. It has two purposes. One of them, if you mark a special checkbox called estimate only, it's going to help, it's going to create just the estimate. It's going to provide you with an Excel spreadsheet that is that will have all the basic metrics of your existing 2012 code base, as well as analysis how complex it is going to be to upgrade to the next version. Second option, if you not check that checklist, the checkbox, it's going to also do the actual code upgrade and create your new upgraded version within your version control system. Also, as part of that step, you will create your project plan that will include all the rest of the steps and have this project plan signed off by your customer. Upgrade Analyzer, it's a new tool that runs within your AX2012 environment. It's based on LCS diagnostic service, and it identifies a few tasks and activities that you need to do within your existing 2012 database. Like, for instance, it runs is your SQL configuration is correct. It checks if you may want to clean some of the data. It checks some of the depreciated features that we depreciate in the new version and alert you about such features. So this is one of the tools you may want to run before you start the process, also to analyze and see if something can be changed. At the end, after you run this tool, you will receive a report, like provided here on the screenshot, that tells you about all the issues and all the activities that you may want to perform. For instance, reduce database size. Data cleanup, that's part of the recommendations provided by the Upgrade Analyzer. It shows you what can be deleted, how many, what kind of data is gonna be removed, and how many gigabytes of data you can save by removing some of the data from your database. Again, removing and purging or archiving your existing data is a very important step in order to fit within the downtime window during your actual data upgrade. It also reviews your current SQL configuration. If there is any optimization required, like of the database flags, etc., it will recommend such as well. That also will help your end-to-end downtime window during actual data upgrade. Also, it helps you answering the question, which features that you are currently using are not available in the next version. We obviously don't want to be in a situation when you upgrade to the next version and then your customers complain that something is not working. So that helps you manage expectations of your customer and discover such gaps early on, so you can address them either by custom implementation or other alternatives that the tool will recommend. So how it's working? You install this tool as a hotfix in 2012, and introduces a new Dynamics 365 upgrade checklist within AX2012, and you complete the required tasks within that checklist, and that will help you navigate through the upgrade, through the initial phase of the upgrade. After that's done, we are moving to actual code upgrade. So we provide a service within LCS that helps you upgrade your current code base into Dynamics 365 for operations. Such service available only via LCS. It is not possible to run such upgrade as a standalone tool. So you will have to upload your code base, your model store, your compressed model store into LCS code upgrade tool, and click on the button Analyze, and that pretty much does the magic. It gets all your existing code base and checks it in within your Visual Studio Team services as an upgraded code. That makes it also, apart from the just checking in the code, upgraded code base into VSTS, it also creates tasks for remaining manual code upgrade issues, produces you with Excel report with all overview of all things that the code upgrade tool done, as well as some of the remaining tasks. We use it as an estimate effort, or when you are ready to do actual code upgrade, you connect Visual Studio Team Services to your LCS project, and that will result in the upgraded code base checked in inside VSTS. As soon as it's checked in within VSTS, you can synchronize with your development environment and perform all the manual tasks for the code upgrade and complete end-to-end code upgrade story. Let's look how it's actually working, this LCS code upgrade tool. So it converts your current model store into XML files. As you know, in Dynamics 365, we don't use model stores anymore. All objects that you work against are saved as XML files. So our code upgrade tool converts them into XML files. It automatically splits existing code base across the multiple packages that we currently have in Dynamics 365. It runs auto migration rules, auto migrating some of the components for you, and as a resulting code base checked in into your Visual Studio Team Services. So that is an automated part within LCS code upgrade services. Of course, after that's done, I wish we could upgrade 100%. Still, there are going to be some manual tasks remaining for you to complete. In order to do this, you will have to deploy a normal development virtual machine of Dynamics 365 for operations, develop it via LCS or use your local machine, map Visual Studio Team Services to your local packages directory within your VM, and then you'll have to do some of the manual tasks of merging and fixing compile errors within that code base. So how to run it? Well, first of all, you have how to run that code upgrade tool. You have to sign up for Visual Studio Team Services. I believe it's free up to 5 users, so you can do it easily. You have to have access to LCS with Dynamics 365 for operations project there. Upload your compressed model store to the upgrade tile, which is shown to the right, and then run the actual code upgrade. More information and more details on how to do it provided here at the link in the presentation. That's a sample of Excel output report that's going to provide you with more information of the upgraded elements. And that's pretty much it for your code upgrade. Of course, the devil is in details, so a few things that you have to remember. What to do with for instance, what to do with your third-party or ISV solutions. Obviously, you don't want to manually upgrade your ISV solutions every time you run your code upgrade. So you may want to ignore the output of code upgrade tool for those solutions, and then just contact your ISV vendor and get already upgraded model for their solution and replace your current model within Dynamics 365 with already upgraded model provided by your ISV vendor. So that was the manual. That was the code upgrade part. Please note that still manual code upgrade will require a lot of time. Some of the things we haven't got a chance to talk include some tasks like using Power BI and merging into the new concepts of the Power BI, uptaking some of the things like extensions and resolving problems with the extensions. As you know, we are going to seal some of the Microsoft code base, some of the packages, and we already sealed quite a few as platform and foundation one, and eventually we plan to seal the application suite application suite package as well. So if you had any overlayering, any customizations within such Microsoft objects. Major part of your code upgrade effort going to be moving such customizations to extensions, ensuring that they do not overlay our Microsoft code base. That's going to take a lot of time as part of code upgrade efforts. At the moment, as you know, we do not seal application suite yet, but eventually we will. So time you can invest into converting your overlaying into extensions will be very wisely spent now, in order to ensure that you are future-proof and ready for not only for the current upgrade, but for the next upgrades as well when we seal our packages. And in general, also another thing that you have to plan for, it's working with your forms, moving from rich client of AX2012, moving to Dynamics 365 for operations, which is HTML5 based. Obviously, will require redesign some of your existing forms just to ensure that they look modern and they live well in the new HTML5 world. Also, ensuring that all your current forms adhere to Microsoft recommended form patterns also will take some time, so please ensure that such time already planned within your current upgrade project. That's where you would like to do those activities. In order to do those manual activity steps, you will need to deploy a sandbox. Again, those sandboxes deployed via LCS into Azure. Some other partners also use quite often locally based sandboxes. But for the development boxes, you can use a locally based environment. However, for a sandbox, that can be deployed only from implementation project. As part of the analysis, you create your project plan, and for you use your sandbox environment. You are going to use it for your manual process and for pretty much estimate development efforts of your code upgrade. Now, when you're ready to execute, you perform actual code upgrade within your LCS environment. You deploy your development environment and do all the steps to ensure that you have resolved all the errors, and run your data upgrade in Sandbox, and run upgrade validation within your Sandbox as well. We have upgrade analysis tool. You already executed such upgrade analysis tool in prepare for 2012 upgrade. Follow all the steps that the tool recommends you, and ensure that everything is taken care of before you start actual upgrade process. Get the latest version of your ISV solutions when you execute your upgrade. First thing, when you do your code upgrade process, ensure that you do initial successful compile first. Start with the lowest package, application foundation, application platform, etc., and work upwards, ensuring that you have them compiled well, and then use that package, and then move to the next package. These are initial steps for your code upgrade. Few more things that's gonna really impact you and are new to Dynamics 365 during the code upgrade. That's a model split. That's gonna cause you extra time. In the previous version, 2012, we had just one model store, but right now we have multiple packages, and all those packages have dependencies between them. So in a sense, imagine that you have multiple model stores running at the same time with dependencies between objects. And you cannot use objects, you cannot use them You cannot reuse those objects right away from each of those packages. You have to remember which of the models, which of the packages depend on which, in order that you do not call them in the wrong sequence. So moving your existing code base across different packages and refactoring as extensions, that is going to really impact your end-to-end project timeline. So ensure that your pre-upgrade checklist, during the data upgrade, ensure that your pre-upgrade checklist is completed. Move your 2012 database to SQL Azure. Obviously, AX2012 is on SQL 2016 or 2000 or the previous version. So you have to move it to the cloud. You have to move it to SQL Azure and execute data upgrade package to actually start the data upgrade. This is a data upgrade process. So data upgrade is a new thing. So that is still in preview. It's a deployable package that is pretty much it's a whole framework to execute all the data upgrade. Upgrade scripts themselves are not in the package; they're still in the release update DB classes. So in general, upgrade scripts and the way how we execute data upgrade looks very similar to the previous framework, to the data upgrade execution in AX2012. We use a batch framework underneath the hood to execute all the upgrade scripts. The batch framework already will have set all the script dependencies between them to ensure that your data upgrade scripts that move data from the old data structures to the new data structures, they are executed in the right order. And the same concepts of pre-synchronized and post-synchronized upgrade scripts still applicable in the new version. So if you already did a data upgrade previously, maybe from 2009 to X2012, or between the releases of 2012, and you already executed data upgrade via upgrade cockpit, this process is going to be very familiar to you. The same concepts of the pre-synchronized scripts, which adjust your data structures in order to be ready for actual moving of the data, as well as post-synchronized scripts that run after already data schema has been adjusted to the new version and actually changing the actual data. Those concepts still apply for the new release. So nothing way too new here. So how to troubleshoot it? So we have quite a few nice new troubleshooting capabilities of the new data upgrade framework. So we log all script durations into the database. We log errors, so if there is any errors are happening, they're going to be also logged. And also we have a resume on failure option for some scripts. If they fail, you can resume their execution to save some time. We have a nice article here that addresses troubleshooting of the upgrade scripts, and in general, how to write upgrade scripts for between those two versions. So data upgrade is going to take a lot of time. Please plan for multiple iterations for the data upgrade and writing your own data upgrade scripts if necessary. The success of the data upgrade mostly relies on how well your existing database prepared for the upgrade. If all elements IDs are in the right place, if you have done proper purging and the data archival of your existing data, then there should be no problem with executing of your data upgrade during your downtime window. After your data upgrade is done, you may want to, you need to answer to the question whether or not your data upgrade was successful. That's not an easy question to answer, because obviously there is no ideal way to test everything in the new version. We do provide some guidelines on how to do validation, but of course most of the validation has to be done by you. So as part of your cutover testing and your validation, we have a tool to run against upgraded environment before you use it. So it performs some of the smoke testing and help validation of successful upgrade run. Obviously, just running this tool is not enough to confirm that your data upgrade was successful. You do need to engage your functional users for end-to-end full regression testing of your new system. But at least this tool helps you to guide you through the validation tasks and perform some of the upgrade validation before you engage your functional user testing. So in general, before you even start validation by your functional users, you may want to ensure that your system at least somehow functional. If all the expected data is there, does the general ledger reconcile to the previous version? Does the inventory reconcile? All the components are accessible. Do very basic validation to ensure that at least initially upgrade was successful and you even have some data to validate by your functional users. So after you run this tool, you will receive a report, which is shown here, that's going to provide you with some basic smoke test validation results of your upgraded data and help you understand if your environment is ready for validation by your functional users, or you have to go back one step and rerun your upgrade from the very beginning. For instance, some of the output of this tool that is very helpful. It's, for instance, row count. That's a very common thing how you can validate whether or not you have your data upgraded in the right way, is to compare record count from your previous version with the record count of your current version. For instance, in this thing, you can see that everything has been moved from the previous version successfully. So at least you do have some data to be validated by your functional users, as well as your financial reconciliation matches between your previous version and to the current version. This is initial validation. Of course, the tool does not validate everything. It more kind of provides you with a template and with general guidelines on how to actually do validation between those two versions. If you have already any upgrade scripts, any test scripts for your previous version, you may want to, of course, ask your functional users to validate after they get access to the environment and do full regression testing of your new system. So application validation checklist available in upgrade methodology on LCS and also in a separate methodology. Also, this application validation, that's this checklist that can guide you through the validation of Dynamics 365 for operations. You can add or remove items there if you prefer so, and it's portable. You can export and import it between different environments. So this checklist is actually going to guide you through the application validation of your new Dynamics 365 for operations. Final steps of validation, it's a cutover testing, functional testing, and create cutover plan. You have to be very careful about what is going to happen during the cutover weekend, during the go live weekend, and spell out each of the tasks that different team members are going to perform during this very critical go live weekend. After that's done, you have to run it multiple times to ensure that all the times are correct and you don't have any surprises during actual go live. And go through pre-go live checklist to ensure that everything has been validated and you don't have any last minute changes within your checklist. So that pretty much addresses end-to-end code and data upgrade, as well as pre-validation of your environment, as well as validation after your upgrade. Again, it's not a very simple process. At the moment, you may want to include all the experts across all areas from your organization for this upgrade. A lot of time you will have to spend on preparing your existing database, on moving your code base from 2012 overlaying to the extensions, adjusting it, and performing data upgrade. So those things that's still going to take a lot of time. They are risky, but hopefully the tool sets we as Microsoft provide and make available for you across all the steps are going to make it less risky and more reliable. So hopefully that answers all the questions about the upgrade. Let's see if they have any questions. Right. Janice? Paul, do we have any questions?
Yep. Sorry, I was on mute. I was talking to myself. Can you hear me?
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. Yes, we do have question. There's a couple of questions on 2009 and 2012, the difference. Can you talk about that, the difference between the two?
Absolutely. So at the moment, data upgrade, which means we are moving all data that is in your current 2012 database into Dynamics 365 for operations. Data upgrade available only for 2012 and will be available only for 2012. At the moment, it's available for 2012 R3 only as a preview, but eventually that data upgrade going to be available for other versions of 2012 as well. Code upgrade between 2012 and Dynamics 365 for operations available now for all releases of 2012. So your code, you can already move it regardless whichever release it is. For the data, we have preview for R3 only. For 2009, we will never have data upgrade and we will never have code upgrade. We do not plan to have such features ever. The only thing you'll have available for 2009 is data migration. We have a tool also in preview that allows you to migrate a subset of your data from 2009 to Dynamics 365 for operations. That is already available in preview, but the key difference here is that it is not data upgrade, which means we do not guarantee that we're going to move all the data. We're going to move just a subset of the data to the new version, and the full data upgrade will never be available from 2009.
Yep, and there's a comment on they plan to actually do a upgrade from 2009 into 2012, and then use the 2012 data upgrade process to upgrade into D365.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I've seen a few customers who did a very similar approach. A few things here. Yes, technically it is possible to do this two-step upgrade. However, please consider a few things. First of all, it's gonna take some time. It's gonna be pretty much double time of your upgrade because you'll have to upgrade across you'll have to upgrade twice. Second thing, that do you really want to do that? Because difference between 2009 and Dynamics 365 for operations is really big, both as UI, the concepts in general, data structures, code base, and everything. So your current 2009 code and your current 2009 data, in some cases you do need all of it, but consider it as an option, not to upgrading to the new version, but actually doing the data upgrade. As I always say, if you can avoid upgrade, you should try to avoid it. Using upgrade, which means you have to bring all your existing database, all your existing data for many years, all your concepts within your current code base that might be already obsolete in the new versions. If you have a budget, consider maybe it would be wiser to spend it on re-architecturing your current system and re-implementing it within Dynamics 365 using new concepts like Power BI, new forms, logic apps, etc., instead of just moving all your existing legacy code and legacy data to the new version. That's why we focused on, for 2009 customers, we didn't focus on actually upgrade. We focused on data migration to ensure that you have very smooth data migration path, that you still can bring your critical data over to the new version, but gives also you a chance to revisit your old decisions in 2009 and spend some time maybe on re-architecting data in and code in the new version instead.
All right, cool. Thanks, Kirill. And then another question is the data upgrade using the batch framework, and how can we monitor the upgrade process?
Correct, yes. So data upgrade framework does use a batch framework underneath the hood. It is very similar to data upgrade that's been using that we've used during 2009 to AX 2012 upgrade. And as you know, batch framework in Dynamics 365 for operations, it's pretty similar to what we used to have in AX 2012. So using the same ways using the same approach as we execute those data upgrade scripts in the previous version, we use the same framework to execute them in the new version. So during execution itself, you can vlog all the errors. So you'll have all errors or the exceptions logged during your initial data upgrade execution. So you will be able to monitor it and address all issues as they appear in the log within your database. However, there is of course not going to be the same UI as we used to have in AX 2012 data upgrade. Data upgrade cockpit, the UI that shows you all the scripts, that's not something that we bring over to the new version.
Okay. There's some request to say, is it possible to receive the tools you're talking before July?
Absolutely. So on the first page of the slide, and slides we're going to share with the participants soon, there is a link to a preview program that you can join. That gonna give you all the documentation and tools necessary to perform the to try out the data upgrade even before public availability, and of course provide us with any feedback based on the usage of those tools if you accept it into the preview program. That's for the data upgrade. For the code upgrade, the tool is available now. If you have already access to LCS and a project within Dynamics 365 operations within LCS, you can already upgrade your code base using LCS code upgrade tool right now.
All right. Any other questions, since we still have 10 minutes left? Going once, going twice. Yeah, I don't see any other questions coming. Just gonna hand it over back to you, Kirill.
Thank you so much, Paul. Thank you so much, guys. We will share the PowerPoint slides, which has a lot of links to both the preview program as well as some reference links to our documentation on the upgrade, on validation, on code upgrade, on data upgrade. Hopefully you find it useful, and good luck with your upgrade from the previous version of Dynamics to the new Dynamics 365 for operations. Back to you, Janice.
All right, thank you, Kirill. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to bring your attention to a link that I posted in the messages panel. That's a link to a short survey for this web conference, and we ask that you please take a moment before logging out to access it. We hope that you found today's information helpful, and if you enjoyed today's web conference or have feedback on how we can provide you with a better event, this is your chance to let us know. The survey scores are on a scale from 1 to 5, with 5 being the highest score possible. Just going to take one more check at the Q&A, and I see that we do have one lingering question that just came in, and that is asking how to get the PowerPoint. A copy of the presentation will be made available within 3 to 5 days post-conference. Please look for an email from Event Builder with details on how to access that. And with that, that's going to conclude today's Infopedia web conference. Attendees can access the web conference recording via a link that will be delivered in 3 to 5 days post-conference. I'd like to extend a big thank you to our presenters, Kirill and Paul, and thank you, audience, for logging in and joining us today. This does conclude today's web conference, and you may now disconnect.